is August 5th. It was 1 year ago today that I got this motorcycle. And what a year it has been. This time last year, my friend Frank and I drove down to Fleetwood, PA, about 100 miles away. And he rode it back for me. Sitting in somebody's garage, a little dusty, a little neglected, bad tires, some other hidden things wrong with it. Nothing major. But got it home, went out that night for about 12 miles around my community, could barely keep the thing upright. Well, since then, I've put about 10,000, just over 10,000 miles on it, and done just about every kind of maintenance imaginable. Changed all the fluids, adjusted all belts, cables, chains, put an engine tuner on it, repaired a leaking rocker box, did some lighting upgrades, seat, other little doodads. It's really made it mine. It's so comfortable now to ride compared to before. It's a lot more practical. And you know, when I bought it, I didn't even know when and where I was going to ride and how often, all that. I figured I'd ride it to work sometimes. Well, today is actually, according to my ride log, 50th day I am riding it to work. So it's a 110 mile round trip to work, so over half of my miles were commuting, and it's really made going to work a lot more enjoyable, no doubt about that. Saved some wear and tear on the car, and just what an amazing year. I mean, the experience of riding, improving my skills, learning more about the bike, how to do repairs, blew through my first set of tires. I got them put on my bike last year when I first got it, and I just replaced them this past month. So, you know, no issues as far as safety goes. I've had a few people here and there pull out in front of me, come into my lane, things like that. Gotta be quick on the horn. But, you know, never dropped the bike or anything. So just kind of looking back, it's been really an amazing year. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I never imagined that I would ride as much as I have and be able to have all the different experiences that I've had. You know, been all over Northeast PA with it. Just thinking about next year. You know, what do I want to do? What are my goals for the next riding year? My longest trip so far has been about 150 miles in a day. It's not really terribly far, but I'd like to ride to York, PA, and do the Harley factory tour. I think York is about 150 to 170 miles from where I live, so that would be a good ride day, over 300 miles, plus the tour. I would like to take a couple other longer rides, you know, maybe, I don't know, visiting people or just ride long. But there's a few odds and ends I'd still like to do on the bike. Some kind of an LED headlight at some point. But all in all, I mean, if I can just keep doing what I'm doing, which is get a lot of riding in, and just taking care of the bike as needed. Keep learning, developing my skills. We're doing, my friend Josh and I are doing Basic Rider Course 2 next weekend. So that's another goal, and then maybe next year do Advanced Rider Course. But just want to keep that going. Keep learning. You know, maybe one day I'll be ready for ride like a pro class, things like that. So yeah, it's a Friday morning. It's a beautiful day. It should be about 80 when I get out of work, and I'm kind of looking back on this little milestone, personal milestone, 1 year of riding, and thinking about my next year. So this is how I like to start a day. Some mornings, everything is just perfect, and this is one of those mornings. I'm making great time. The weather is glorious. Temperature, sunshine. The bike is running flawlessly. There's no traffic. It's just, this is the ideal when I think about, you know, having an enjoyable ride to work. This is what I picture in my mind. It doesn't always happen, but it's nice when it does. This air feels incredible. You know, they say riding a motorcycle is the closest you can get to flying without actually flying. But I gotta tell you, I've flown. I've been in a little 2-engine Cessna jet in the co-pilot seat. And although I'm not a pilot, the pilot did hand me the controls. You know, they're sitting in front of me. He didn't hand them to me. But he did offer to me to take the controls and keep the plane moving in a straight direction, which I did for about 2 minutes, after which I peeled my white knuckles off of the yoke and suggested he take over. But you don't get the wind through your hair and all that when you're flying, unless you're in an open biplane or something. I know flying is a whole other thing, obviously, but I don't know, man. I think I'd rather be on a motorcycle. I like being on the ground. You're definitely closer to the action down here. That's my take on it. If you have a bike and you aren't riding on a day like this, shame on you. That's all I can say. That's how I like to come to work in the morning.